Yes, yeah.
Hi, welcome for tuning in to the Survival of Couters podcast. This is podcast number 1, baby, and you're getting to be a part of it. Today is March 30th. It's a Monday. I had a great day, and I expect to have a better day tomorrow, even though today was great. I woke up at about 4 o'clock in the morning. Birds were chirping, the sun wasn't even up. That's the bird saying, yeah, fuck you, son. Guess what? I can work on my own schedule. I don't need that vitamin D. And I respect that from birds because they are kind of stupid animals. But anyways, this podcast is going to be somewhat pointless. And if you're looking to learn something, then you might learn something. I'm not going to lie. I'm here with Gary as always. Gary, come here. Gary, come here. He's got his favorite animal. It's a hedgehog. Say hi. This is Gary. Oh. We're gonna make this, not too drawn out. I'm not gonna try to ramble as much as I normally would on a normal conversation type basis, but we are gonna make the best out of it, and we're gonna have some fun. Okay? Buckle up your little seat belts, and let's go. So we're going to do this systematically. How I'm going to do this podcast, I'm going to tell you 3 interesting facts that happened to take place today on this date in 1969. Okay? Neil Armstrong walked on the moon, March 30th, 1969. An iconic moment for American history, if I do say so myself. Am I a big Neil Armstrong fan? Fuck no. Do I think the guy walked on the moon? Fuck no. Is it in American history? It is. And, it's something we're going to have to deal with. I don't think that Neil walked on the moon. He may have gone to the moon, but I think he was afraid to get his toes wet in that little dusty pit up there in the sky that seems to control our oceans and whatnot. He may have, stuck his head out for a second, put it back in. And then he kind of, peeped around the door, looked over there. He said, yeah, fuck that, ain't going out there. We could create this entire fucking, footage underwater at NASA's headquarters down there in Florida. Why would I do it up here? Never been here. I think Neil's kind of a weak strong. I think Neil's arm weak. That Neil arm weak didn't want to get his little toes wet, so he decided to get his toes wet here on planet Earth. That's that. The second event that took place on March 30th, 1969, it was the last Beatles public performance, and that took place on the Apple production studio. Whereabouts? I don't know. But, the Beatles are just a complete powerhouse of a fucking group. You have George Harrison, you have John Lennon, you have Ringo Starr with the fresh fucking cut, always. And then you have Paul McCartney. And those 4 dudes really did a toll on the music industry. They changed a lot of things that probably happen today, that take place today, they're responsible for. And those are 4 beauties right there, complete hammers. So I have a lot of respect for the Beatles. I am not a huge Beatles fan, but I do enjoy their music. And if you don't, you're probably a communist. I hate to say it. John Lennon, he got shot in his apartment complex. Why did a multi-millionaire artist with such a reputable face and eyeglass combination get shot? I don't know. Was it the government? Probably. Ringo Starr fucking went to the barber and said, give me the shit that's gonna last a lifetime, boy. And he probably went in there every other day. And they just looked at his hair, went around with a little comb, that Con Air, and fucking... George Harrison's son fell off of a balcony and died. It's very sad. It was my biggest fear growing up in the mountains where you have these massive balconies, dude. I remember this boy I went to school with, he used to fucking just jump off his balcony for fun. Oh, what happened to little Daniel? Little Daniel over there, what happened? He shows up in a full body cast. Oh, he decided to jump off his balcony. It's been the 6th time this year. And, you know, he recovered. He ended up doing well. Paul McCartney, I think he's homoerotic. I think he swings the same way. That's not a fact. I don't know that for a fact. That's that. Another real iconic thing in Americana history, it was the first year the Pontiac Firebird Trans Am was introduced in March 30th, 1969. Let me tell you something about a fucking Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. That fire turkey, boy. Ooh! You're either dealing methamphetamines or you're running Wall Street driving one of them bitches. You know, your crazy old Uncle Bo from fucking Louisiana, he sold his house to buy one. Jordan Belfort from Wolf of Wall Street, he bought one to fucking take over to the garage to get in his Porsche. He bought one to drive 34 feet, dude. And that's something that's going to resonate forever in American history. Pontiac. There's a pretty funny slang term. Poor old thought it was a Cadillac. And I was taught that at a young age, and I don't agree with it. So part of this podcast, I have asked on my Snapchat, you know, send me some questions that I can answer. Let me just share my opinions. Some people may think highly of my opinions. Some people may give a fuck less. And, you know, I don't disagree with either of you. You know, I think I'm an accomplished young man. I like getting my hair cut. I am in perfect health. I still work through this coronavirus quarantine, John. And to be quite honest, this quarantine hasn't affected me one bit yet. First question is from a beautiful young lady named Shiara. She asks, how do I stay positive all the time? You know, I haven't always been a positive guy. And I blame that solely on my habitat. You know, who you surround yourself with, what you do with the majority of your time, how you manage your time. Those are all things that are really going to affect your day-to-day personality. And, you know, a year ago today, if you asked me how do I stay positive all the time, I'd say, how the fuck do I not stay positive all the time? You know? There's only one thing that gets me going, and that's a bowl of wheat thins in the morning with honey drizzle. Now, dude, I love everything. Everything that I do, I'm fucking so, you know. I wake up in the morning. I'm thankful that I'm awake. A lot of people don't make it through the night. I'm thankful that I can see, I can hear, I can smell, I can touch. I'm thankful that I have knees and elbows. I've said this before, but imagine if we didn't have any elbows, dude. We'd be working with some stick arms. You'd be knocking over, you know, cups of water on the fucking, up on the counter all the time. I wouldn't be able to pet Gary. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize, you know. We got fucking toenails, fingernails. If we didn't have those little things, dude, if we, you know, if we open a door too fast, you could cut the tip of your finger and possibly bleed out to death. So there's just so many things to be positive about. You know, there's so many people that are much less unfortunate than anyone that's listening to this, and I want you to realize that. You could find positive in every negative situation. You know, back to yin yang, Sun Tzu, he created this entire theory with the white and the black and the black and the white. You know, there's good and evil, and there's evil and good. So if you look at life that way, you tend to start finding good things out of bad situations, and it's not that difficult. You know, here I am, complete life transformation. 2 years ago from today, I was managing an auto dealership. I've always had nice vehicles. I had a lot of cool shit. I was making all right money. You know, I was doing my thing. Was I a happy person? Fuck no, dude. I was hit with that depression. And I was always like, what is it? What is it? What is it? You know, and it's so hard to gain like good, meaningful relationships with people when you're always depressed or you're always negative. And the best thing I ever did was take the biggest sacrifice of my life, and I put myself out on the chopping block. You know, there's so many things that could have gone wrong, and here I am, happier than I've ever been. You know, it may not seem I am nearly as successful as I was 2 years ago, but the fact that I'm able to go to bed at night happy and wake up in the morning positive, man, fuck success at that point, you know? So you really just kind of have to find your niche. Go put yourself out there. A lot of people are stuck doing things that they don't want to be doing due to the fact that they're trying to impress someone, they're trying to show a status symbol. If you drop that ego kind of and you start doing things for yourself, you're gonna find yourself in a much better place. And on top of that, you know, you're gonna be able to make better relationships with people due to the fact that you're not worried about yourself. You could focus, you know, more on them, being able to help them. And I hope that answers your question, Chiara. I appreciate you saying. I have horrible pronunciation, by the way. If it's Chiara, Chiara, Shara, Shira, those are all, I believe your name is very unique and it's beautiful. And I would not doubt that name has been used in a Star Wars film. Star Wars, you know. Just throwing it out there. Next question is, how many babies could I carry? And that was asked by a young lady by the name of Vivian. That's a very vague question. I mean, if you're talking over the shoulder, like straight arm, 2. I wouldn't feel comfortable carrying any more than 2 over the head. But if you're talking straight arm, you know, I'm built like a fucking orangutan. My wingspan's like 7'9". My torso's really short, and I got these long legs. I'm built kind of like an oak tree. But not to say, you know, that this oak tree ain't strong. If I was straight arm, you know, I got, let's just say 3.5 feet of length in each arm. Each baby's 9 inches wide. Shit, boy. I could probably carry 3 on each arm, 1 on each shoulder, and then 1 on top of my head. So that would be 11 babies. And that's safely, you know. If these babies have been acting up lately, you know, if they've been smoking crack cocaine or doing any kind of, you know, illegal substances on the weekend, and their parents were sick and tired of it and they didn't know how to fucking discipline them, then I would probably be able to carry about 14, because I would just toss 3 more on the back. Say, hold on, you know? You put yourself here. I didn't. But 11 conservatively, 14 recklessly. That's how many babies I could carry. Next question is, do I believe in dating apps? Yes, I believe in dating apps. You know what? I've had so many positive people enter my life because of dating apps. I made great experiences. I really think that you have to use it correctly. You know, if you're very straightforward with who you are as a person and you're not putting on a facade, you could find a lot of really genuine relationships off of dating apps. You could find yourself a wife. You could find yourself a masseuse. You could find yourself a Uber driver. You could find yourself all sorts of things. And I'm sorry about the ambience noise in the background. Gary's deciding to eat right now. And I'd prefer if he didn't, but dogs gotta eat. What was I talking about? Dating apps. Yeah. You could find yourself a wife. You could find yourself a husband. You know, you could find yourself a swinger couple if you wanted to be part of that little three-way open relationship. Sister wives, Mormons. It's really just there for everyone. And I think this is kind of the wave of our generation is moving to. My generation speaking specifically. Millennials, you could get tossed on the bus. I think it's going to get to a point where people are so nervous to break the ice in a generic, a wholesome conversation, where dating apps are going to be the only way to meet new people. And I'm not a fan of that. I think finding someone and wholesomely, you know, a organic meet and greet is much more preferred, for me at least, as far as meeting new people goes. But nonetheless, I think it's going there. I hope that answers your question, Sewa. Sewa is the name of that young lady who sent that question to me, which I would have to say, educated guess, that's from the Asian descent, Sewa. This is a question submitted by a young man named Bryce, and me and Bryce go way back. Funny story, he invited me to Lake Havasu, Arizona, and I was about 15 years old, and we went to his uncle's house, and his uncle's a wild one, a real wild one. I drove army vehicles. He gave me this shit, this magic peanut butter. Dude, I don't even remember taking it. I took off in orbit, dude. I was so fucked up. I literally thought that there was 16 of me in a room about to form a picket line to protest against this magic peanut butter. And then I woke up and it was like 5 days later. So I don't know what was in the magic peanut butter. I was at the time a fluent marijuana activist, and I've never been that put off by marijuana, so I don't know what it was. But anyways, Bryce, you're a great dude. You know, you're Mormon. You went on a mission. You went to Japan, and that's very admirable. And I think you're a very admirable young man. I like your hair. I like your style. You almost killed me and 4 other friends in a vehicular accident because you're trying to drift a front-wheel drive car. I wasn't a fan of that. And I'm glad we're all here to talk about it. But at the end of the day, you should probably stay away from trying to drift, especially in a stock Ford Focus with front-wheel drive and about 120 horsepower. That's not the best idea you could have. Back to your question, though. Has anyone asked about my daily routine? Gary, not now. My daily routine is very simple. I wake up in the morning. Normally I urinate. And I put clothes on. I brush my teeth. I come out here. I socialize with Gary. And, you know, we spend some quality time together. I wake up really early. I wake up about 4 in the morning. And, you know, I make myself a little snack. I make my lunch, and then I take Gary to use the restroom outside, and we part our ways. And then I come back. He's just so excited to see me every time, dude. I literally couldn't have asked for a better dog. He's such a good guy. And come here. Let's just show. You know, this dog's been with me since the beginning, and I cherish him more than anything. But when I get home, you know, he's real hyped up. He's always really excited to see me. And I appreciate that because I'm just as excited to see him. Then we go on a walk. Normally I try to go for at least an hour, hour and a half, a little walkie walk. And then I come back. I take pre-workout. And I wait about 20 minutes until my skin starts itching. Normally it starts in my lips. My lips get very hot and fuzzy. And I begin to itch, and then I'll go to the gym. I'll work out. I have a set routine. I work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I go for it, dude. When I go to the gym, I push myself as hard as I can every single time. let me throw this in there. I didn't include this with Bryce, but I'm going to say it anyways because it's kind of fitting to the story. He complimented my body, which is a little funny for Bryce to be doing that, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. And I work my fucking ass off in the gym. I'll spend probably 2.5 hours on average. And every day I go to the gym, I strive to be stronger. I strive to look better. You know, as far as my eating habits go, I'm that real skinny fat boy. I'll eat whatever the fuck I want. With one exception, as far as my diet goes, I will only drink water and alcohol. I try not to drink alcohol. I limit that down to 1 day out of the week. So if I drink on a Tuesday during my lunch at work, that's the only day I drink, and I'll probably get really intoxicated because, you know, I cherish that day. But yeah, that's pretty much my routine. I eat a lot. I eat a lot. I meal prep, so I make myself 3 meals to eat at work during lunch, and normally it consists of a lamb chop, a chicken leg, and a couple ribs, pork ribs, over quinoa with sliced bell peppers, a chunk of cheese, and then I eat 3 of those meals at lunch. And then for in the morning, I make myself a little granola treat. And then when I get home, I'll eat myself a big meal. And that's seeming to work pretty dang well. You want to kind of put yourself in a window of time of like 8 to 10 hours, 10 hours being the absolute most of eating. So if you do that, you could kind of eat whatever you want, you know? You just got to be real adamant about what you drink, because the sugar in what you drink is what really gets you. And that's why I stick to water. Thank you, Bryce. No one has asked about my daily routine, so you asked and I told. Next question is going to be from just a real sweetheart of a guy named Ryan out of Utah. Not now, Gary. And his question was, what are my thoughts on the coronavirus? So here's the thing. I've been hearing a lot of jibber jabber about this whole coronavirus. I know nothing about it, but from an outsider looking in, I would say it's blown completely out of proportion. I mean, if you're going to die, you're going to die. That's kind of how I look at things, you know. If it's so much of a burden for you to keep your hygiene up and maintain a good immune system, you might deserve it. And that's real, it's real dark and sad, but you know what? I think that this is easily combated by keeping your hygiene up, you know? Wash your hands. Don't be picking your nose. Don't be scratching your eye after you just touched that 7-Eleven fucking door handle that, you know, Hector over there just got done grabbing after he scratched his ass cheeks, dude. That's disgusting. And you might even get pink eye out of the whole situation and die. No one wants to die with the pink eye. So those are kind of my thoughts on it. I have another thought that runs much deeper than the coronavirus, but I don't think human beings are meant to process so much negative information that the news feeds us. You know, I don't need to know about the 1,000,000 people dying over there, you know, in the pond over there in Georgia. You know, you had someone slip and fall, hit their head, and then they drowned to death. Why do I need to know about that, you know? My life is already eventful enough. I don't need to know about anything else other than what's going on in my own life. So I don't watch the news. And I didn't even know we're in quarantine. Tell some older fella who doesn't speak a lick of English that I work with named Tacho. He says, "Don't touch me," you know? And then I was like, "Whoa, dude, what did I do?" You know? He's like, 6 feet away, 6 feet away. Shooing me off, dude. He started kicking me at my shins. I was like, fuck. So I backed up, and then I was like, you know what? I was like, what's up with Tacho? And he's like, you didn't hear, dude? And I was like, what? And he's like, you can't be within 6 feet of each other. Like, hey, don't touch me there. you know, this is my private square. And I was like, holy shit, dude. But that's that. I started carrying baby wipes. Got them things on me, dude. Wipe my hands all the time. And that's how I stay safe. Those are my thoughts on the coronavirus, Ryan. Here's another question by a sweet young lady by the name of Ree. What am I most passionate about? I'm really passionate about meeting new people. I'm a people person, that's for sure. You know what? Here's a fun little story. Across the way over here, Mike and Farah, older folk from Alabama, some senior citizens. I was just walking around. I was wearing my high-vis shirt. He was wearing his high-vis shirt, and we got to talking. We sat down. I sat down, dude. I sat down for, man, it had to have been 2 hours just talking. You know what? The nicest man you could ever meet doesn't have any teeth. He's missing 36 teeth, and he wears dentures. But he gave me a beer, and then his wife comes out, a complete sweetheart, dude. I mean, if there's more people in the world like them, fuck. I wouldn't even work, dude. I'd just walk around and talk to people all day. But she comes out and she's like, would you like some home cooking? And I'm like, I've been living on my own since 2017. I would love some home cooking. So she brings me out this big old plate, right? Heated it up, covered it in tinfoil, and it was like a little Christmas present for me with a nice little modular thing on top, all covered in tinfoil. She's like, I got all the fixings there, everything you want, all the fixings. And I was like, all right, thank you. You know, at this time I was real hungry, and I didn't want to eat in front of them because they weren't eating themselves. So I brought it over here to mi casa, my humble abode, my trailer. Stop, Gary. And I opened that bitch up, bro. Everything a man could ever dream for. Everything. You had mashed taters. You had turkey, dude. You had collard greens. And then she even had a little to-go container of gravy. I was so excited, dude. And then that little modular device on top. Little loaf of bread made from herself. And, you know, those kind of things are what I'm passionate about. I love meeting new people. This guy is in the line of work that I'm pursuing. And he had a lot of good information. And if you want to be successful in any kind of business, you have to network. And the only way you're going to network is being positive, leave a good impression, and then, you know what? We can't do anything in this life on our own. I don't care what you say. You need someone there. It could be your distant cousin, Susan. It could be your fucking neighbor, Mike and Farah. It could be Gary the dog. Well, guess what? You need a little support sometimes because we all fail. And that's fine. You use that failure to help move yourself forward. But he taught me a lot of good information, you know, what I should be doing. And you can't, you know, just fall and conform to anything that anyone says, but you should definitely take advice and, you know, try it out yourself. But I've been kind of rambling, so I'm just going to finish that question. That's what I'm most passionate about, is meeting new people. Them turkey and fucking taters, dude. That's good. That's really good. And then Gary helped himself to my fucking taters, dude. I'd take a piss, right? Man. Still a little upset about that, just so you know. Walk away, come back, and he's sitting there licking his chomps, just. And I was like, motherfucker! You know what? He hopped up on the table and ate the taters. And you could only be mad for about 30 minutes. Because then you realize you're like, fuck, dude. If I was in his shoes, I'd do the same thing. Dad slides outside to go, you know, smoke a Winston or take a piss. I don't care. I'm hopping up and I'm capitalizing on them taters. And he did it. And he did it. So it is what it is. I'm not very mad. I'm not very mad at him for doing it. I'm more mad at the fact that, you know, I missed out on some of my favorite food. And I had another question from a gorgeous young lady by the name of Caitlin. Why do I believe in God? I believe in God due to the fact that miraculous things have happened in my life that are very, they can't be explained, and there's a higher power that's doing them. I feel very deeply in. I feel a presence with me when I'm, going through very hard times, and I could reach out and pray to that presence. And it never fails, man. Never fails. I've never been led astray. I believe everything happens for a reason. If there's ever a point in my life where I feel hopeless and, I feel like this is the end for me, or I don't have any path to take, you just have to sit there and you kind of have to reach out to the big man in the sky. And I promise, if you establish that relationship, it's never ending, and it's really beautiful. And like I said, our lives are too calculated just to be floating on a little ball out here in the middle of some galaxy. So believed. Everything happens for a reason, and I think the reason is God. And if you trust that, it's going to help you out. So, part of this podcast, one of my hidden talents is I'm a pretty good prank phone caller, and we're not going to do anything rude. We're just going to call our local... Ooh, my phone's on 1%. Scratch that. We're going to call our local Walmart that I did earlier, and I'll throw that video in. I hope you guys enjoy that. I went to Walmart yesterday to purchase some sheets for my bed, and I also bought a bowl, and this is a good place. I'm going to call them, and I'm going to give them a compliment.
Thank you for calling your local Walmart. We appreciate...
Let them know that everything they're doing is perfect.
Thank you for calling Placerville Walmart. How can I help you?
Hi, I just wanted to call you and let you know how wonderful my experience was. There's a young gentleman that helped me out over there in the electronics department. I can't remember his name, but I just like to put in the letters of recommendations for him.
Okay. Thank you very much. We appreciate hearing from you.
Who's could I speak to just to give him that upper hand? I want to see this young man's progress. He takes his job very seriously, and everything that he did was so joyous and left me with a good feeling inside.
Okay. I'm going to see if there's a manager available to take your call if you don't mind holding for a few moments. Sir.
Yes, I don't mind.
Okay. Give me one moment.
Going back to that point I just made, now I'm thinking about it. Just because you have a bad day doesn't determine that you're gonna have a bad life. But if you make a point to have every day be a bad day, you're gonna have a bad life. Everyone has their ups and downs.
Charles speaking. How may I help you?
Hey Charles, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I was over there on Sunday, and I just wanted to let you know that I had the pleasure of working with the young gentleman over there in the electronics department, and man, he's a phenomenal employee. And I was just trying to,
All right.
I was just trying to get hold of his name, possibly, put the word out there, and
I have multiple associates over there that are female that work in that area.
This was a young gentleman. He was, I don't know
Oh,
if,
was a gentleman?
yeah.
How tall was he?
Man, he was about, shoot. Well, I'm about 6'8", so everyone looks short to me. If I had to guess, I'd say about 5'9", 5'11".
Well, I'm trying to think of who it is over there. Yeah, I don't know who it could be.
Yeah, and you know,
I could find out and definitely pass it on to my store manager.
yeah, man, every time I've been to that Walmart, I'm a big Walmart goer, and you know, there's been times where I had to go pick up the pins for my granny. I had to go, you know, do a whole assortment of things, and every time I ain't the best. I ain't the best at looking for stuff. I've been looking my whole life, you know. When I was a little kid, my mom would say, "Go grab the beans out the pantry," and I'd stand there for 30 minutes before she came got them herself. And every time I go to your Walmart, man, whew, everyone's just so Johnny on the spot. They get real personal with you. They ask how your day's going, and that means a lot because, you know,
It does.
yeah, I'm out here and I live by myself and I don't socialize much, but when I do get around people, I'd enjoy if they spoke to me. And they have no problem speaking to me, and every time I go there, man, you guys just do a phenomenal job. And that young gentleman over there in the electronics department, if you could just be so grateful to let him know, you know, everything's okay. He's doing a great job. You know, everyone's got issues. Everyone's got issues. I understand that. I hear that. But, you know, if you're able to leave your issues right there at the doorstep when you leave to work, then you're gonna make a lot of people happy. And you know that happiness,
Yes, you are.
that happiness, it comes back around. You hear? It'll, you know, make itself around. Like me, I've been sitting over here, and I've just been thinking about it. I said I gotta do something now, so I decided just, you know, hoot and holler at you guys, and making me tear up right now. But yeah, I just pass it along for me if you could.
I will. Do you want to know next time, if it happens again, an even better way to do it is to do that survey on your receipt, and you have a chance to win money as well, a gift card for the store, but also if you get their name, Market will send them a letter in the mail and a pin.
Shoot, man, I'll figure out his name because I still got the receipt. And let me,
if you, I don't know exactly who it'd be, but if you see him again, you can do the survey for him, and when it goes to Market, they get a letter and a pin. It's pretty cool.
All right, I'll come looking for him then. I'll keep my eyes peeled. All right. What was your name?
Anything else? My name's Charles.
Charles, you have a blessed day now, sir.
You too.
All right, have a good one.
Bye.
Not only did I just completely lie, dude, I just made someone's day. Charles is over there just fucking air punched.
Yes.
And this is kind of where we'll be leaving. And if you like these podcasts, then, man, I like you. And I hope that we could continue doing this, because I like speaking in front of things. Cameras, microphones, mirrors, televisions, Gary, you name it. If I could talk, I could walk. And, yeah. I appreciate everyone sending me questions. Please feel free to do more questions, because that's what's going to really keep this little steam train rolling, you know? What can I talk about if there's no context? And I want to give a special shout out to why the name of my podcast is what it is. So I got this Uncle Larry. He means a lot to me, and I think till this day he doesn't know my name. He's called me Couter my whole life. That's how we talk. Couter over there, grab that deer feed and bring it over here. We're gonna shoot one of them son bitches. And my Uncle Larry's a fucking stud of a guy. You know, he's always been there for me. He watched me for a week, and all he fed me were turkey gizzards. We went down to the crispy chicken down there at the gas station. He's like, get what you want. So I ordered. He's like, you don't want that. Get him 6 pounds of turkey gizzards. And I ate that for about a couple days. You know, and that's what he called me, Couter. Couter this, Couter that. We'd go fishing, dude. He'd get on the wrong side of the freeway, drinking a beer, too. I'm like, Uncle Larry, we're on the wrong side of the freeway. He's like, boy, I've been driving since you've been shitting yellow. Don't tell me what to do. And then we'd go to the fucking reservoir and we'd catch a goddamn sea turtle out of a freshwater reservoir. The man is miraculous. I don't know how you do it. Sea turtles, fucking halibuts, wicked tunas, you name it. That guy could reel in anything. He'd kill a deer with a fucking slingshot. Not even shooting anything either. Just throwing a slingshot at a deer, take it out. He's a real outdoors guy, and I look up to him. So, Survival of Couter is what I coined the name. What else? Things that are kind of bothering me lately. I've been addicted to nicotine since I was fucking knee-high to a grasshopper. I used to spread Copenhagen and wintergreen on my sandwiches my mom would give me in first grade because I liked the way it tastes. And addiction's real, dude. This shit sucks. I try not to chew tobacco. I haven't chewed tobacco in quite some time, but now I'm on this whole vape thing and I fucking hate it. It's the worst habit, dude. If I had one regret in life, it'd go back and not start any nicotine related products because it sucks. You know, you have this fucking affliction with something that you feel, it's the weirdest feeling. Like if you don't do it, you feel just this weird boredom that you can't control. And that's something I'm going to change. I'll need some suggestions, so feel free to leave suggestions of how you've got off the little nick sticks. That's what's been bothering me. And that's about it. You know, I'm having a good old time in this life, and I hope everyone else, you know, can hear me out and maybe learn something from my advice. I love you all, and 10-4 out and over. I'll talk to you later.